Welcome into our second game of today's doubleheader. Lexington, South Carolina, the place to be for the Kingsmen and P27. On the air just in time once again. The back half of today's doubleheader, it sees Caden McNeil lead off this game just as he did in game one of the doubleheader. 1-0 count. The pitch to McNeil is high for ball two. Clarification on the end of that first game, we were observing a time limit, not common, not normal for our ABA conference games. Of course, as mentioned before, this is a non-conference doubleheader in order to get these guys through their games, 3 of them down to McNeil. So they were observing a 2-hour and 15-minute no new inning time limit. So there was no seventh inning. Kingsmen hung on to win 7-6 for the non-conference victory. 4-pitch walk to Caden McNeil to start things off here in the first. The Kingsmen batting order: McNeil, Catani, Bose, Bernie, Winan, Catron, De La Cruz, Olvera, Logan Daniel, and Harris Clark. Kingsmen hitting 10 with Nehemiah Barnes on the mound. Nemo getting ready to throw in the right-hand bullpen as we speak. Dino Catani batting in the 2 slot. Has a man on first and nobody out. In there for a called strike. Blue Jack Cole is on the mound for the Blacksmiths of P27. McNeil back in there safely. Found his first strike 1 pitch ago. 2026 right-hand arm. Cole working out of the stretch here with McNeil on first base. That one low for a ball, 1-1. Catani skies one. First base side, foul ground. Coming in on it and making the catch is Chase Pollock for out number 1. Ashton Bose to hit next. McNeil on the move. Bose takes and throw down at second. Not in time. It's a stolen base for Caden McNeil. Runner on second, and now time called by Ashton Bose at the plate. Throw down to second to make sure McNeil's not getting too far off the bag. He's back safely. 2-0 count to Ashton Bose. It's Bose, then Bernie, and Winan. Two balls and no strikes. Hitters count. Kingsman looking for some early offense. That ball's in the dirt. McNeil hustling for third, and he's there standing up without a throw. Runner on third now, and nobody out. Or rather, just the one out. Dino Catani popped out to the first baseman. Big chance for Ashton Bose and the Kingsman offense. Outside, a 4-pitch walk. Second walk of the inning for Lou Jack Cole. And here's Christian Bernie. First pitch outside for ball one to Bernie. That's high for ball two. Chance for the Kingsmen to mount some offense here in the early innings. Outside. And a third walk of the inning loads the bases here for the Kingsmen. So Bernie walks to load the bases. Brody Winan up in a big spot. One away here in the top of the first in a 0-0 tie. Blue Jack Cole trying to get things going on the mound for P27. Outside, ball one. Neal on third, Bose on second, Bernie is on first, and there is a breaking ball on the outside corner, dotted for a strike, 1-1. In there for a strike, 1-2. Two strikes on Brody Winan. Jack Catron is on deck for the Kingsmen. Two-strike pitch. Winan up the middle off the pitcher's mound. Past the dive of the shortstop and into center field. McNeil scores. Bose in behind him. It's 2-0. First hit of the game for the Kingsmen, but the walks before enable them to cash in big. It's 2-0 here on the road. An early lead over P27. Brody Winan with a big base hit. Did not have a hit in the first game of the doubleheader. First pitch outside. And Bernie, who had gotten a big secondary over at second, retreats. One-0. In the dirt, blocked, but away from the catcher. Scrambling to recover is Frazier, and both runners take 90 feet. Fly ball off the bat of Catron into foul territory. Tracking it is Pollock and the catcher, but neither one can get there as the ball hits the top of the chain link fence. Frazier had also chased after it. Both came up empty. After the foul ball, Catron digs back in. Here's the pitch. High for another ball. Three balls and one strike. Here with nobody out in the top of the first. Coming set is Lou Jack Cole. The right-hander shifts and fires. Top of the zone strike. Catron had taken a couple steps toward first, and he'll now come back. Full count, on deck, Matt De La Cruz. Payoff pitch to Catron. Curveball sat down and got him in the zone for strike number 3. One out here for the Kingsmen in the first. Yeah, or 2 outs rather here in the first. They'll send their 7th hitter of the inning to the plate. Matt De La Cruz, the designated hitter, batting in place of Nemo Barnes, who's gotten to put his feet up for a few minutes prior to his start beginning in the bottom half. First pitch rides inside, taken for a ball by De La Cruz. Bernie is on third, Winan is on second. 1-0 pitch. And that's high off the glove of the catcher Frazier, but it only bounces a foot or 2 away from him. 2-0. Fastball outside corner. Call a strike. And De La Cruz now sees a 2-1 count. In the bottom of the first, you'll see Eckroth, Soto, and Soto. That's Tony Soto and Yamil Soto. Back to back in the order against Barnes. Balls and a strike. If the inning continues, we'll see Olvera. De La Cruz takes ball 4. 4th walk of the inning for Lou Jack Cole. Bases are loaded. 82. PJ Olvera batting with the bases loaded and 2 outs here in the first. The Kingsmen have 2 runs up on the board off the 2 RBI single by Brody Winan. De La Cruz, 1-0 to PJ Olvera. We didn't see PJ in game 1 of the doubleheader today. Started the season at the plate so hot. A couple of extra base hits in the Dominican Republic. But so far in ABA play has not seen that same stroke of hitting ability, but this time the ball comes in and hits him to bring in a run. So he'll take that, the on-base percentage up, if nothing else, and it's 3-0. Here comes the mound visit as a result. Logan Daniel will hit next. It's 3-0 here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. We'll be right back. Back here in the top of the first, it is Logan Daniel at the plate, still facing Lou Jack Cole after the mound visit. In the dirt, 2 balls and no strikes. Final game of today's doubleheader. The team will head back to Gastonia here tonight and have the weekend off, apart from a short lift tomorrow morning. We'll be off to the races with the next week of ABA conference play. Outside for ball 3. Three and 0. 4-pitch walk, and that makes it 4-0. So here is the bottom of the order, and Harris Clark. Harris Clark came in and got the save in game 1 of today's doubleheader on the mound. After starting the game at third base, takes the ball off the plate outside. Late addition to the lineup, batting as the extra hitter, and then we'll see Caden McNeil at the top of the order if the inning goes any further. 1-0 to Harris. Taken at the knees for a called strike. And it's 1-1. Two balls and a strike. Two one, and that gets the inside corner to make it 2-2. Once again, Eckroth, Tony Soto, and Yamil Soto. They'll be coming up on the other side of the mid-inning break. P27 trying to get there. 2-strike pitch. And it's fought off by Harris Clark to keep the inning alive. Another 2-strike pitch in the dirt. This one bounces a mile high. It lands right on the plate, but quick enough to the plate goes De La Cruz. A wacky, wild pitch. Gives the Kingsmen run number 5. That ball bounced straight in the air. The pitcher, Cole, was all over it. He sprinted to the plate while the catcher looked around for a ball that was 10 feet over his head. The ball landed about a foot from home plate, and if the pitcher had been able to get there just a little quicker, he might have had a chance to tag out De La Cruz. 3-2. And it's a walk. The Kingsmen have gone all the way around the order here in the first. And Caden McNeil strides to the plate for the second time. Lou Jack Cole going to get another hitter here in the first inning. Frazier puts down the sign, and here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. One-0 pitch to Caden, and McNeil sends it popped into left field. Coming in on it, the left fielder Perez, and he makes the catch to retire the side. So the Kingsmen go all the way around in the first. They score 5 runs. We head to the bottom half. P27 to answer when we come back. It's Varsity Baseball here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. To the bottom of the first we go here. Nemo Barnes is on the mound. Out of the windup, first hitter, Eckroth. Ball outside, second pitch of the inning. Pitch from Nemo. And a pop-up foul for a strike. Waiting on the official count from our home plate umpire. He's looked at his pitch counter, and he has not put up any numbers. Much to the dismay of the press room, as that one's inside for a ball. It's either 3-1 or 2-2. And Nemo back to work. Outside, and it was 3-1, and it is now a walk. So, just as the top of the first started with the walk, the bottom does as well. Seth Eckroth is on. The batting order for P27. Eckroth, Tony Soto, Yamil Soto, Chase Pollock, Michael Martinez, Andy Perez, Isaac Sanchez, Jones, Matthias Frazier, Ben Jenkins, Eric Aristi, Smith Brinson, and Matt Blankenship. Once again, P27 batting 13. There's a strike to Tony Soto. 0-1 is the count. Eckroth is on first base here in the bottom of the first. And a quick throw over to Ashton Bowes. Back safely goes Seth Eckroth. There's a pop-up foul, first base side for strike number 2. Defensively for the Kingsmen, it's Catani, McNeil, and Wynant in the outfield. Christian Burney at the hot corner, Logan Daniel and PJ Oliveira in the middle, and Ashton Bowes at first. Starting battery for the Kingsmen, Nemo Barnes is the pitcher, and Jack Catron is the catcher. 2 strikes on Tony Soto, and a throw over to first that Bowes had to come off the bag for. 5-0 here in the bottom of the first. The Kingsmen batted all the way around in the top of the first inning off of 1 hit and 6 walks. There's a swing and a miss for out number 1. Nemo's got himself a strikeout. Six pitches. That's on the outside corner. Catron with the back pick, but diving ahead of the tag is Seth Eckroth. 0-2 quickly here with 1 out. Sweep, but more importantly, the lead of the season series. The two teams tied up at 1 after P27 defeated the Kingsmen in East Cobb. Granted, out of the 3, that's the game that matters as far as ABA League play goes. Takes second on the wild pitch. One ball and 2 strikes with 1 away. Emil Soto is at the plate. Chase Pollock is on deck. Infield backs off of the runner on second base. Not too concerned about him right now as Nemo throws home, and it's flared into shallow right. Winant got a good break on it. Dives, could not get there. Olvera chases as the runner heads to second, and it's a 1-out double, but the run does not score. Eckroth on third base. He waited to see if he needed to tag up and did not score from scoring position. So second and third with 1 out. Chase Pollock is up next. That's the second time in the first inning of these doubleheader games that we've seen a bloop shot to right be just past the dive of Brody Winant in right field. In the first game, that was a Michael Martinez 2-run double. This time, no run comes in to score, at least not yet. First pitch to Pollock, high from Barnes. And here comes Coach Joe Hudak. Step aside here for 1 moment. We'll be back in the bottom of the first here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Chase Pollock thrown by Nemo Barnes, a 2-0 count. Infield's going to stay back given the early lead. They want to make sure they get an out. They'll sacrifice a run to do so. 2-0 in the dirt to make it 3 balls and no strikes. Michael Martinez is on deck for P27 as the Blacksmiths look to make this a big inning in return for the Kingsmen's big 5 spot in the top of the first. 3-0. Nemo hits the knees with that fastball. It's 3-1. Three-one pitch. Missed the inside corner, and the bases are loaded. So the Kingsmen found ways to score in the top of the first, and now a big inning could be on the cards for the Blacksmiths here at home. Angel Rari starting to throw down the first base line, the Kingsmen's Dominican-born right-hand reliever. Had started one of the games in the last 2 full series as that one gets away from Catron. Runner coming in the plate, and a run scores. On the wild pitch, Eckroth in to make it 5-1. Soto and Pollock both move 90 feet. The comeback has started for the home Blacksmiths. And now a quick conversation between coach and designated hitter. But Angel Rari down in the bullpen for the Kingsmen. He started game 2 of both the East Cobb series I believe he pitched against P27, if I'm not mistaken. Max Rayleigh was actually the one who started that game in East Cobb. He pitched game 1 of today's doubleheader. Rory pitched in the Georgia Premier game, that win that the Kingsmen had in East Cobb. Only 2 starters required. Barnes and Rayleigh, the 2 selected, as that fastball hits the top of the zone. But Angel Rory was certainly expected to get some time on the mound in one of the 2 games. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Barnes trying to get back on track after a couple of base runners have fires and struck him out with the high breaking ball. Martinez down swinging. It's the 2nd strikeout for Nemo Barnes, and Andy Perez will hit. Throw to second. That's off the glove and into surprise. Pollock at second. We've seen the Kingsmen pull it off a number of times this season, but with that, if the throw misses, that runner from third cruises on in, as we saw right there. It's 5-2. High fly ball left field, playable, but a long way to go for Catani, racing after it. And that ball is down. 1 run comes in to score on a double to make it 5-3. That ball got into the corner. Catani, who was shaded over toward left center, had a very, very long way to go to it. Tough view here with the chain link fence down the line, but it did. Isaac Sanchez, the next to hit as the tying run. First pitch, he rips it down the left field line and fair. Catani chases as Perez comes around to score. 3rd double of the inning, and it's 5-4. Isaac Sanchez being a nuisance over there at second base. He's still getting going in the Kingsmen there at second base. He's still getting going in the Kingsman bullpen if he's needed. Bullpen action wide of both dugouts. First, a long first inning here. 37 minutes. That one's outside for ball 1. Outside corner strike to make it 2-1. The spaghetti fouled off by Jack. Called strike 3. 3 strike to the second here on the Kingsmen. To the second we go. Dino Catani is the leadoff man. And he squared the bunt on the first pitch, but pulled it back. One-0 to Dino, and he sat on it, but came up empty. 1-1.
At the very end, there's a best
Swing and a miss to make it 1-2. Outside for ball 2. Back here in the top of the second, there's a new pitcher on the mound for P27. It's Sawyer Conrad. Sawyer Conrad is on the mound. And back safely goes Dino Catani. Conrad pitched in the Kingsmen versus P27 premier game back about a month and a half ago. Bunted foul by Ashton Bowes for a strike. Conrad, normally on the P27 Premier squad, getting some innings in here, similarly to the man at the plate, Ashton Bowes, who is not on the varsity team either. He's a prospect guy. So it all works out. Non-conference allows you to tinker with the roster as you please, and Ashton Bowes getting the brunt of that one. He took that pitch on the upper back, and now the Kingsmen have runners on second and first with nobody out. Christian Burney is going to be up next for the Kingsmen. 5-4 is the score. Try to get you some information. There's a bunt from Christian Burney. Moves the runners over. And there's runners on second and third.
Yo, get this guy on the IR. He's injured.
Apologies for the radio silence. We're back now. 1 out. Runners on second and third. Brody Wynant takes a strike. 5-4 is the score. Sawyer Conrad remains on the mound for the Blacksmiths. It's a line drive foul, and it's 0-2. After Winan, it'll be Catron. Brody trying to get something done here with 1 out. Strikes out on 3 pitches instead. 2 outs here in the second. The Kingsmen bunted the runners over with Christian Burney. And now the strikeout makes 2 down in the inning for Jack Catron, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. The Kingsmen will need some production from Catron if they're going to grab any runs here in the second, once Conrad helps him out. First pitch. Breaking ball high, ball 1.
That shit was so bad. Bro, I got 1 pitch in the bullpen. I come in this is before I was a home run, bro.
1-0. Fastball hit the low and outside corner to make it 1-1.
Yeah, our 1 home run, you were 6. That was nice. Our 1 home run, you guys were 6.
1-1 pitch flared by Catron. That's down in shallow right. 1 run scores. Here comes Bose to make it 2. Jack Catron finds a way, and it is 7-4 here in Lexington. Jack Catron finds himself a couple of ribbies here in the second. De La Cruz next to him. He walked and scored in the first. Catron, the lone base runner now. Runner on first, 2 outs. First pitch, outside for ball 1. One 0 pitch. Low and away, 2 balls and no strikes. Radar here in Lexington showing low 90s for Sawyer Conrad. Might be the fastest Matt De La Cruz has seen this season. Not too many 90s coming at the varsity level. You're going to see a courtesy runner here with 2 down in the second. Jack Catron, the catcher, being replaced by Brody Winan, who made the last out. 2-0. Fastball off the plate outside, 3 balls and no strikes. P.J. Olvera will hit if the inning continues. 3-run lead for the Kingsmen. Checking back on the runner. Back safely. That's actually Eli Thomas at first base, not Brody Winan. Eli Thomas is the courtesy runner for the Kingsmen at first base. And De La Cruz takes right down the middle to make it 3-1. Ahead in the count. Chance to extend the inning. De La Cruz digs in, but Conrad's throw goes to first. Back safely, but not by much, goes Eli Thomas. Bottom of the second, we'll see Frazier, Jenkins, and Aristi. 3-1 pitch. Fastball low for a ball. There's a walk to extend the inning further. Second and first with 2 outs for P.J. Olvera. A reminder of the crazy schedule next week for the Kingsmen. Changes recently made, so check out the schedule tab on KingsmanBaseballAcademy.org for all complete updates. But a couple of days off for the Kingsmen after today, which will be much welcomed with the schedule coming up on the other side of next week. In there for a strike. The team heading up to Richmond, Virginia on Tuesday for the non-conference clash. Those games were originally scheduled for Monday and Tuesday. Now Wednesday and Thursday due to weather. The 0-1. chop foul by Olvera. On the way to Richmond, Virginia, the team will stop in Goldsboro, North Carolina, where the varsity team will play a non-conference single game against Eastern Carolina Academy before the team completes the drive up to the Commonwealth of Virginia. Quick pickoff, at least the spin, not the throw over to second. 1 game Wednesday, 2 games Thursday for the Kingsmen. The prospect team taking on DSC in what should be a really, really good prospect battle. As Olvera uncorks 1 foul. That series is going to be between 2 of the top teams in the standings of the prospect division. 92 miles an hour fought off by P.J. Olvera on that last foul ball. As of now, there's a potential for a game to be scheduled between the Kingsmen and P27 a week from today up at Gardner-Webb University as Olvera pops one into right. Blankenship under it makes the catch to end the inning. So a busy week ahead for the Kingsmen, and then they head to Houston on Saturday. It'll be a lot to get going. We'll talk more about it later. We're going to step aside. Bottom of the second coming up here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Bottom of the second here, Nemo Barnes back on the mound to face 9, 10, and 11. And he fires the first pitch just off the outside corner for ball 1. 7-4. The Kingsmen grab 2 more runs, courtesy of a Jack Patron 2-run single with 2 outs in the second. Nemo Barnes back on the mound, and he's behind 2-0 to Matthias Frazier. It's the catcher leading off, then the center fielder Ben Jenkins, and the extra hitter Eric Aristi. Bottom of the order for P27, at least the bottom half. Strike to get Barnes started and make it 2-1. A little bit breezy today in Lexington, South Carolina, not too far from Columbia, as that ball is lifted high in the air to left. Catani backpedaling and makes the catch, looking up into the blue skies. 1 out here in the second. It'll be Ben Jenkins hitting next, the center fielder in the 10 slot.
You? I know a guy that makes the car.
First pitch from Barnes. Outside, and it's 1-0. Ben Jenkins did not play in the first game. It was Chase Pollock in center field. There's a swing and a miss to even the count at 1 apiece. That flyout was the first out retired in the field of play versus the strikeout for Nemo. 2 balls and 1 strike. He had 3 strikeouts in the first inning, but in between those were 2 walks and 3 doubles. Unique stat line in the first for P27's 4 runs. 2-1. Outside corner strike to make it 2-2. Two-two pitch. Curveball, a good spot for that one, but he missed. And it's 3-2. You could tell Jenkins was leaning after it, trying to will the bat to stay on his shoulder. He held up successfully. 3-2 pitch. Fastball, chopped, or rather popped, to the first base side, but hooking out of play and hitting off the roof of the Kingsmen dugout. Both Bose and Catron were off chasing that one. 3-2 pitch. Ground ball, third base side, fielded on the backhand. Bernie, a long throw. Oh, yeah. Christian Bernie snags it backhand side and fires a dart across the diamond in time for out number 2. So bases are clear for Eric Aristi. 2 away against the extra hitter Nemo Barnes, starting to settle in. And it'll wind up in his first pitch. Missed the outside corner. One-0 pitch. Popped up, but foul. 1-1. High fly ball left center field. Chasing it is Catani. He makes the catch. And the inning is over at 19 minutes. We head to the third. It's 7-4 here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Into the third we go, 7-4. A fastball off the plate outside. 1 ball and no strikes. So Eric Conrad back on the mound, and he deals a fastball. It's poked foul by Logan Daniel. Daniel, Clark, and McNeil. 9-10-1. 2 balls and a strike. That one just off the plate. Conrad coming set. And a ground ball up the middle. Tough play and into center field. Logan Daniel has himself a base hit off of Conrad. And the Kingsmen are off and running here in the third. Harris Clark is the next hitter, runner on first, nobody out after the Logan Daniel single. Clark squaring and a lob throw over to first to check on Logan, who I think was actually already on his way back to first before that throw was even made, the way he took that step back at the bat. Clark squares early again. Pulls back, but the pitch is in at the knees to make it 0-1. Bottom of the order up for the Kingsmen. Harris Clark walked and was stranded on first his last time. In the first game of today's doubleheader, he was in the 8th spot. 0 for 1. He walked twice and flew out. Outside for a ball. He hit an absolute smoke shot to center field that hung up just enough for the center fielder at the time, Chase Pollock, to bring in. 1 ball and a strike. Harris squares again. This time bunts it back to the pitcher. Chance to go to 2, and the play is made in time. Daniel called out. I think he would have been out either way, because if he beat that, he overran second base and would have been tagged. So fielder's choice for Harris Clark sees Daniel gunned at second, and it's the top of the order. So Caden McNeil comes to the plate for the third time. Started this game for a walk. Stole second and third before scoring. Flew out his last time. He's 0 for 1. Had a pair of singles in the first game of the doubleheader. He was instrumental in the Kingsmen 7-6 comeback win against the Blacksmiths earlier today. 1 ball, no strikes, up and into McNeil. Conrad's pitch. Breaking ball, and that wiggled away from McNeil. It's 1-1. Fastball down the pipe to get 2 strikes against McNeil. Catani's on deck. Already a double play. The left fielder hitting left-handed will have a shot here in the third. 2 strikes to Caden. Back to the breaking ball, and he hit the inside corner. McNeil looked stunned. Straight out of blitz ball. 2 outs.
Attaboy, touch ball, 59. Get down now.
First pitch to Dino, big cut on the fastball, came up empty. Catani against P27, the first time they played out in East Cobb, had that high fly ball that was foul. Had it been 5 or 10 feet over to the left, it would have been a walk-off grand slam in that game. Yet to see the big fly so far this spring. 0-1. Jumps on that fastball, but hits it foul, 0-2. In the bottom of the third for P27, it'll be 12, 13, and 1. Bottom 2 of the order before we loop back around. Brinson, Blankenship, and Eckroth. due up in the home half of the third. 2 strikes on Dino Catani. Ashton Bowes on deck, who's reached both times. Curveball, and Catani fights it off. Pinball action on that foul ball. Interestingly enough, not sure if you could see that on camera. My guess would be no. The ball went off of a tree to the left of home plate, bounced off the chain link fence behind home plate, and then landed on Hudson Entrikin, who's here as part of the prospect team supporting in Lexington.
That's it.
He tosses the foul ball to one of the P27 players out of the dugout. 2 strikes, and Catani takes low.
I like that take. Big with 10.
7-4 the score right now. Just across the street from the home of the Lexington County Blowfish, the normal site for P27 home games, but scheduling conflicts put the game over here today. That's Harris Clark on the stolen base. He finds himself on second here with 2 away as Catani takes low for ball 2. The Kingsmen scored 5 runs in the first, 2 in the second. P27 had 4 to answer in the first, blanked in inning number 2. It's a 3-run lead as it stands. Dino trying to add to it. 2-2. Fastball, inside corner. Conrad has another one. Heating up. We head to the bottom of the third here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. The action continues here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. I'm Griffin Leonard here with you for the Kingsmen and the P27 Blacksmiths varsity ball on the air. Non-conference action here in Lexington, and Nemo Barnes, after getting pushed around a little bit with the extra base hit in the first inning, has settled in. He gets a swing and a miss from Smith Brinson. Count now 1-1. I can only assume that we are observing a time limit here in game number 2. Just as we did in the first, there's a fastball in the outside corner to make it 1-2. Don't have a stopwatch on me, but the estimate would be we've played about 1 hour and 10 so far in the contest after a long first inning. No bullpen action either team here in the home half of the third. 7-4 Kingsman lead. And that fastball low to make the count 2-2. Kingsman won game 1 of the doubleheader, 7-6. It was a early lead for P27. The home road team rebounded from the Kingsmen scoring the game's opening run and took a 5-1 lead into the third. The Kingsmen were able to fight back with back-to-back 3 spots in the 5th and the 6th, and then held off the comeback bid to win by just 1 run. 7-6 was the final. Full count pitch and a foul ball hit right side off the bat of Brinset. Blankenship is on deck, and then it'll be Eckroth. Another line drive foul. That one smoked toward the stands. Hopefully everybody evaded that on the Kingsman side. The dimensions of this ballpark, the way that everything's set up, the chain link has a second level, as there's a foul tip into the glove of Catron, and Nemo Barnes has another strikeout. 1 down here in the third. There is 2 levels to the chain link here, the backstop behind home plate, but there's a certain point where the top level ends and you've just got about halfway up. The problem is the seats down the first base line are elevated. And at least here from this angle, as that one's chopped to third, Bernie up with it. The throw across the diamond is in time to the stretching Bows, and they're quickly 2 away here in the third. I would be willing to bet that the right foul ball could absolutely barrel into those elevated seats down the first base side. I'm not 100% sure, but I would be cautious sitting over there. It's like parking your car too close to the field. Just got to be cautious.
Yes, sir. I like that.
Top of the order for P27. First pitch breaking ball in the dirt to Seth Eckroth, who walked and then scored on a wild pitch for the first run of 4 in that first inning for P27. Nemo Barnes retired 2 in a row to start the inning. Now gets a ground ball to Bernie. Bernie fields it on the up hop across the diamond, but a high throw and wide the first base line. Christian Bernie missed, and the inning continues. That ends a streak of 6 in a row retired by Nemo Barnes. Tony Soto is the 2-hole with the man on first and 2 outs. Quick throw over from Barnes.
Come on, Tony! Come on, Tony! Let's go, 3-4!
First pitch in the dirt, 1-0.
Come on, 3-4, okay! Come on, man! Come on, Tony!
Set is Nemo Barnes, who misses low. Runner on the move. Catron's throw down to second. The tag, not in time. Safe on the wild pitch. Two 2-0. Chopper foul. 2 balls and a strike. In the 4th for the Kingsmen, it'll be Bose, Bernie, and Wynant. See if the black and gold can get out of it without a run against. 2-1. Nehemiah Barnes throws home, and the slider gets away from Catron. Tried to backhand it, and it got away. That's one he'll want back as the catcher. had a little bit of run on it, but was not too far away from the catcher Catron. Runner on third now, 3-1 count. If the inning continues, we'll see Yamil Soto. Hot foul, 3-2. High scoring from the jump. This game has cooled down. 7-4 as we stand in the bottom of the third. Barnes is 3-2. Struck him out with the foul tip. A high fastball ends the inning. We head to the fourth here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Ashton Bowes leading off the fourth here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. 7-4. It's a lead for Coach Hudak's crew. Preston Hudak hoping to walk out with his first undefeated day of the spring season as that ball skied to the right side of the infield. Caught in foul ground by Pollock. That's the first out of the inning. There's been ups and downs for this varsity group so far in the spring, dropping 2 of 3 last week on the road in Statesboro, Georgia against the Red Sox of Georgia Premier. But if they can find a way to hold on in this one, get themselves back-to-back victories and 3 in a row dating back to the final game of that Red Sox series, you'd certainly feel good heading in to next week. First pitch in there to Christian Burney. Takes that for a strike. He had that sac bunt his last time around that moved the runners over. Catani and Bowes moved into scoring position, and then Catron singled them in. Burney takes a hack. It was off the handle, and it ended up foul. Angel Rari had been getting hot earlier. He's now standing in the bullpen, but not actively throwing. Tate Johnston is also getting warm. There's a chopped ground ball. Tough play for the first baseman, Pollock, but he gets it on a good part of the hop, and he's able to tap first for out number 2. Chase Pollock's made a couple of plays here so far in the fourth. There's 2 away, and here's Brody Wynant with the bases completely empty. No runs since the top of the second. We've reached a stalemate here in Lexington. First pitch. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. Sawyer Conrad has come in and calmed the waters for the P27 Blacksmiths. The premier pitcher pitched against the Kingsmen at Caramount Health Park. That game that the Kingsmen prospect team was eventually able to win 14-12. Offensive battle saw 2 of the premier hitters, if I can remember who it was, Sterling Coaxum and it was Hank Lasaveda, combined for 5 home runs in that game. But the Kingsmen still found a way to win. 1-2. Balls and 2 strikes. Two in at the knees to get Winan. That ends the inning. We go to the bottom half. Still a 3-run lead for the Kingsmen. When we come back, it's Varsity Baseball on the KBA Baseball Network.
Sawyer.
Bottom of the 5th, outside corner to get things started for Nemo against Yamil Soto.
Thanks, Ruth. What's your favorite number? 69. That's the year I was born.
Count on the board shows 1-2. We'll see how Nemo does here. Curveball. Did not get it on the inside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count. Leadoff man at the plate, Soto. It's 3-4-5 for P27. 2-2 out of the windup. Curveball off the plate, low and away, and the count is full.
Four.
3-2 inside and a leadoff walk. Emil Soto starts things off. P27 hasn't scored since the first inning, but they're looking to get things going. First pitch here coming for Nemo Barnes against Chase Pollock. And it's a pop-up, first base side, in foul ground. Ashton Bowes has it for out number 1. One out after the foul out. Bowes reined it in, and here's Michael Martinez. The designated hitter struck out his first time. There's a good pitch from Barnes to get it started. 0-1 with a runner on first. Quick throw over to first. Bose doesn't bother with the tag. Back standing up goes Soto. Another throw over to first. Back with a dive goes Soto. Word on the street is we once again have the 2 hour and 15-minute time limit. That one's low for a ball. The question with that then becomes, what time did we officially get going? I know we were slated to start at 3. I do believe that start was a little bit delayed. Breaking ball hits the top of the zone for strike number 2. Say best estimates, we got going at 3:10. So if we're starting a new inning beyond 5:25, then something might be a little off. But we're in the bottom of the 4th, 7-4. Kingsmen up on P27. Runner on the move, and it got away from Catron. In his second standing up goes Soto. He doesn't bother trying for third. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out. Martinez, then Perez, and Sanchez. That's off the plate outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Hey, your box. Get your box. Nothing to the drive right here.
Just missed. A walk for Martinez puts runners on second and first. Andy Perez, who doubled and scored his first time around, comes up as the tying run. So a double play opportunity for the Kingsmen infield. And Perez up with 1 away. Cue shot, foul, 0-1. About a 2-hour drive back to Gastonia for the team after this. Drove down this morning. It was a 7:15 departure. Stopped in Rock Hill for some breakfast. Coach Hudak's a big Golden Corral guy. It's a pretty frequent stop for the team on road trips. First time I ever had Golden Corral breakfast this morning. I gotta say, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Highly recommend the bacon. It's better than you think it would be. Oh, 1. Chop third base side toward the line and squirts foul. 0-2. Oh and 2, 1 away. Runners on second and first. Nemo fires it home. Got the inside corner and rings up Perez on 3 pitches. 2 outs in the 4th for Isaac Sanchez.
Come on, Isaac, get hot. Let's go, Isaac, stay hot, kid, stay hot. Go, Isaac. I'm now Isaac. Come here.
That curveball in there for a strike. Today, when we were out to eat before the game, there's normally a staff table of sorts that forms, and there was a notable omission from it this morning. Coach Nick Osborne was out and about. There's a swing and a miss to make it 0-2. He didn't rejoin the team until getting here to the ballpark today in Lexington. He'd been in Myrtle Beach the last few days. His dad and coach of Penn State Shenango, his alma mater, was playing in a couple of games down in Myrtle Beach. That one just off the plate outside. Coach Osborne taking the last couple of days that the team had off for a chance to go see his dad coach, go enjoy some time on the water, even though he told me today that it was a little bit colder out on the ocean than he would have liked it to be. Big lead at second, and Barnes steps off. That's Coach Osborne offering some encouragement from the dugout. Here's the pitch from Barnes. Check swing, foul ball over the backstop and out of play. In the fifth for the Kingsmen, it'll be Catron, De La Cruz, Olvera, 6, 7, 8 for the Kingsmen. Currently hold a 3-run lead.
Send that ball to ride. Let's go. Take it straight.
7-4 here. Non-conference action in Lexington. 1-2. Ooh, that one ran in on the hitter. Pretty good zip to it from Barnes. Had an arm side run on it to tag along with the velo. It's 2-2.
Let's go, Isaac! Come on! Up now. Go here.
Then he continues. We'll see Jack Jones, the extra hitter in the 8th spot.
Hey, drop the ball here. Hey, you got nothing to beat you. Let's go.
Inside move down to second, but no throw. Wind blowing out toward left field. Could help a right-handed hitter. 2-strike pitch coming. Barnes. Ripped ground ball. Bernie to a slide. That ball was well foul. Christian Bernie expanding his infield range to 3 feet foul by the looks of that dot. It's always good to work on reaction time on a ground ball like that.
It's your box, kid, your box.
Nemo Barnes taking a minute to recompose in between pitches. Started this game with a 4 spot against him, but has pitched through 3 2/3 despite that. Good work from the starter. Here's the 2-strike pitch. And does not get the call, just off the plate outside, 3-2. Runners will now have a head start. Tying run at the plate, a 3-run ball game. Jack Jones on deck if the inning continues. Sanchez had a double his last time that scored Perez. Here he goes. 3-2 pitch. Nehemiah Barnes through 4. And the Kingsmen strand a couple of Blacksmiths on the base paths. We head to the 5th. It's a 3-run lead for the varsity side here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Indians from Lexington, South Carolina today. Doubleheader with P27. Nice little day trip for the Kingsmen. Of course, these games don't count toward the ABA record, but they'll be ones the Kingsmen are eager to win regardless. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jack Catron, who's leading off the 5th in the 6th hole. Catron, De La Cruz, and PJ Olvera. New pitcher on the mound, Elijah Flatt. The left-hander is on the mound, pitching to Catron now behind 2-1 in the count. Inside, off the edge, to make it 3-1. De La Cruz on deck, 3-1 to Catron. And Jack Catron hits it high in the air to center. Back on it goes Jenkins, and he makes the catch for out number 1. De La Cruz the next to face the left-hander Elijah Flatt. Flatt's older brother Danny Flatt, a former P27 Academy member, drafted 2 years ago for the New York Yankees. He just finished up 2025 playing single-A ball in the Yankees farm system. Elijah back on the mound to face De La Cruz, who squares but misses. He's behind 0-1. Ashton Bowes is currently warming up in the bullpen, as is Tate Johnston. That one in the dirt, and it looked like it hit the home plate umpire on the bounce. High for ball 2. De La Cruz has walked twice so far today. He came in to score the first time around. Stranded at first at the end of the second inning. Has not hit since the second inning. That ball off the glove of the catcher into the backstop, retrieved by PJ Olvera. 3 balls and a strike. De La Cruz could walk for the 3rd time in his many plate appearances. Certainly helping out the on-base percentage if he can accomplish that. Flat comes set, fires it home, and misses in. 3 walks in a row for De La Cruz. The Kingsmen have their first base runner of the 5th. It's the man on first with 1 out. Left-on-left matchup. First pitch to PJ is in there for a strike. Low at the knees to make it 0-1.
Bring up PJ! Up 3-7. Come on, man.
0-1. Runner on the move. In the strike zone. Low throw on a hop. De La Cruz dives in ahead of the tag. For the Kingsmen today, 6:30 wake up for a 7:15 time to get on the bus. Got down to Lexington around 10. Got some hitting in, and then to the field and ready to go by noon. Coming up on 5 o'clock local here in the Columbia, South Carolina area, just west of the city and the University of South Carolina. 0-2 to PJ. Inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Spiked that one in the dirt. De La Cruz took a step or 2 toward third in case it got by the catcher, but Frazier with a really good block to keep it in front. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Logan Daniel is on deck. He had a single off of the hard-throwing Sawyer Conrad in his last time to the plate. 3-2 now to PJ, who's worked it full after being in an 0-2 hole. Full count offering coming up here from Elijah Flat. Kicks and deals. Outside, Olvera finds a way aboard. Second time he's reached, he was hit by a pitch in the first. And now stands on first with the walk here. Second and first with one away for Logan Daniel.
Swing that combat. Swing that combat. Pocket tail first. First pocket tail. Go, Bird. Make your wish, man. Let's go. Your box 30. Let's go.
Flat staring down De La Cruz at second. Now comes to the plate. Misses high against Logan Daniel. Daniel is 1 for 1 today. Single and a walk. In fact, the bottom 4 guys in his Kingsman order have all reached twice now. Spin throw to second to check on De La Cruz. Soto applies the tag, but not in time. One o deferred. Outside corner. 1-1. 4 really good innings for Nemo Barnes despite the trouble in the first. Put the Kingsmen in a position to win. We'll see who comes in the 5th if it is not Nemo. Got the outside corner again with that one. Put it an inch or 2 further away than the last one, testing the zone, and gets the decision in his favor. 1-2 in favor of Elijah Flat. Here's Clark on deck. De La Cruz on second, Olvera at first. The Kingsmen up by 3 in a game that hasn't seen any runs scored since the second. And another throw to second base. One ball, 2 strikes. Flat's pitch. In the dirt, blocked. De La Cruz testing the catcher. Throw down to third. Not in time. De La Cruz all over the dirt ball. And the catcher, Frazier, could not get him out. So now with runners on second and third. 2-2 with 1 out. Pitch. Fastball struck him out. Daniel goes down for the first time in this ball game. Here's Clark to hit next with runners in scoring position and 2 away. First pitch flat to Clark, and Harris pops it high in the air to left. Perez is under it as he walks toward the line and makes the inning-ending catch. We head to the bottom half of the 5th. Another 0 up on the innings graph. 7-4. We come back in a minute. Varsity ball here on the Kingston Baseball Network. Top of, or rather bottom of the fifth, a new pitcher finally on the mound for the Kingsmen. Ashton Bowes comes in from first base to take to the mound, relieving Nemo Barnes, who threw a really good first 4 innings of action. Harris Clark moves over to first from his extra hitter initial designation. 2-0. Swing and a miss. To make it 2-1, Jack Jones, the leadoff man. It's 8, 9, 10 here in the fifth for P27. We're likely playing 6, barring something funky happening here in the ballgame due to time limit rules, as that one has popped up foul. It's unlikely that the time would expire before the end of this half inning, unless P27 really lay the hammer down. 2 strikes, and Bowes nearly got the chase. Appeal says no, and the count is full.
Let's go, Jack! Okay, come on.
Jones, Frazier, and Jenkins. First hitter Bowes sees is a strikeout. Gets Jones with the K. It's the second time Jack Jones has gone down with the strikeout today.
Let's go, Matthias. Stay on, stay. Go. Hey, hit one back up the middle, kid.
Inside for ball 1 to Matthias Frazier. Flew out to left his first time. The P27 catcher trying to get the rally started. Took one high and away for ball 2. Timeout was called by the base umpire. Not sure if that's a piece of trash or what it was, but Harris Clark retrieved something in the shallow right field grass, handed it to the base umpire, who handed it off to one of the Kingsmen from the dugout. Now it's 3-0. There's a 4-pitch walk. Leadoff man struck out, but then the second up finds the way on with the free pass. And Jenkins to hit now with a man on and a man out. The Kingsman Corner is a weekly podcast covering all things Kingsman Baseball Academy and Kingsman Baseball Summer Collegiate. Every week I chat with Coach Joe Hudak and a special guest. We talk what's been going on around Kingsman Lanes. Make sure to check out the most recent episode if you haven't already. We'll have a new episode for you coming up this weekend. So I'll be talking with Coach and a guest still to be named. But if you get tired of waiting, make sure to check out the last episode where I chatted with Coach Joe Hudak and Coach Preston Hudak. Eric Aristi on deck after Ben Jenkins, who's 0 for 1 with a ground ball out. Another new arm heads to the mound for the Kingsmen. Brody Winant comes in from right field to pitch in a big spot. The tying run is out of the plate. He misses low for ball one. And the fifth continues here. Eric Aristi, the next to hit. Flew out to end the second inning. He's facing Winant. 1-0 is the count with runners on second and first. Brody misses the inside corner for ball number 2. Tate Johnston, once again, I think the third different time today, that he is starting to get warm in the bullpen, but this one looked like he is truly getting hot and ready to get in the game. That one high, 3 balls and no strikes. I know Johnston would love to see a big spot to come into. There's a good chance that he'll find himself in that situation between this inning or next. Inside, 4-pitch walk, and the bases are loaded. Not the way that Winant started, or rather wanted to start his relief appearance. So Smith-Brinson, bases are loaded. The tying run is on here with 1 out. And then the top. He misses high. That's 5 in a row coming out of the pen. And here comes Coach Joe Hudak. This looks, based on the body language of those surrounding, this is a one-on-one conversation. And the rest of the infield, just spectators. Between Coach Hudak and Brody. But of course, it's always a difficult situation. You know, you come out of the pen, normally, as a relief pitcher, you come out of the pen, you're ready to go. Winant coming in out of right field with no time to truly get himself ready to pitch. And maybe the results of that showing a little bit here. 5 pitches in, has not found the strike zone. Johnston continues to prepare. Now out of the mound visit. Winant misses high. Here, as Winant finds the zone to make it 2-1. Still a 3-run lead for the Kingsmen. Kingsmen grabbed 2 more in second. Foul ball to make it 2-2 back-to-back. That one, I think, got Catron after the contact by Brinson. Catron was the hitter that drove in those 2 runs in the second, the last scoring we've seen in this ballgame. Brought in Catani and Bose with the 2-out, 2-run single. 2-2 as Winant steps off to look at second. Out of the windup, 2-2. Away, and the count is full. Three, 2. Did not get the outside corner, and a run walks in. Back-to-back walks for Brody Winant out of the bullpen. First run of the ball game since the top of the second. First time that P27 has found the scoreboard since the first. 7-5. Winant's first pitch in there to Blankenship. There's one guy that you need to get if you're Brody Winant. It's the 13-hole hitter, Matt Blankenship. 0-2. That's a great spot for the fastball. Blankenship 0 for 2 across the doubleheader. A ground out, a strikeout. He did walk in his first plate appearance of the day. Eckroth at the top of the order, waiting in the wings. 0-2 pitch. Ground ball, third base side, hooking and foul. Christian Birdie no longer in the game at third. It's now Harris Clark in that position. Still 0-2 here with one out. Tying run at second base. The pitch. Curveball. Oh, yeah. Finds a way to get the strikeout. Blankenship down looking, and there are 2 outs. Top of the order, first pitch. Big swing from Seth Eckroth. Comes up empty at 0-1. The bullpen action has slowed for Johnston. Still getting warm, but maybe waiting until the 6th if Winan can work himself out here. Ground ball up the middle. Alvera off his glove and into shallow left center, and 2 runs will score to tie the game. Oh, it's a mistake in a bad time for PJ Alvera. It was a backhand stab at it to try to keep it in the infield. He did so successfully. But it was off his glove and a few feet away from him, and by the time he got to the baseball, Eric Aristi had motored around third and scored the tying run. 7-7 here in the 5th, and there's a ground ball to the shortstop side. Up with it, Daniel, and he's called out at second base. The fielder's choice gets Eckroth at the second base bag, but even that was a little bit scary. We are knotted at 7th, and we head to the 6th. When we come back, we'll see who can prevail here. Varsity non-conference baseball returns right after this on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. We go to the 6th, the game's final inning, in all likelihood with the time limit in place. But a 3-run 5th inning for P27 has won Game 1 of today's doubleheader, 7-6. 7 is not enough to win game number 2. We'll see if the top of the order can find one more. Kaden McNeil takes a strike. Generous call on the outside corner to make it 0-1. Elijah Flatt still on the mound for P27. Despite that fastball, they even the count at 1-1. Interested to see who the Kingsmen put on the mound here in the bottom of the 6th. Brody Wyman got himself out of the 6th inning with a couple of ground balls. But we have seen Tate Johnston ready and waiting as McNeil swings through that 1-1 pitch. McNeil, Catania to the plate. They'll need to do so in order to score. 1-2. In the dirt, blocked by the catcher Frazier. You get the feeling that neither team would be satisfied in a game like this with a tie. The season series at 1-1 as we speak. 2-2 pitch. Caden off the end of the bat, hooking, the first baseman chasing and unable to get there in foul territory. Pollock got a good jump on it, but it just kept fluttering away from the first baseman. Two. Caden McNeil pops it up again. Right field corner. Pollock going after it, and that one lands in the Kingsmen bullpen. Two. Downstairs, and the count is full to Caden McNeil. 3-2, full count to the leadoff man here in the 6th. And McNeil watches it inside. He's walked to start this pivotal 6th inning. Go ahead is on first for the Kingsmen, and here is Dino. First pitch in there to Dino Catani. Dino pulled back the ball at the last second. Mystery on the cards right here. In the game's final inning, the base umpires mysteriously disappeared. There is a P27 coach that is acting as the base umpire. McNeil back with the dive on the pickoff move. We had 2 umpires at the beginning of this game, just as we did in the entirety of the first game, and one of them has disappeared. Dino squares early. Pulls back, the ball was low, 2 balls and a strike. Goes to hit next, then Bernie. Kingsman looking for one or more here to retake the lead. As McNeil takes off, swing and a miss, throw down to second. No chance to get Caden McNeil, who steals yet another base. Caden McNeil with 5 stolen bases today between the 2 games of the doubleheader. Two strikes on Kitani, and now time called. Fourth time around the batting order for the Kingsmen here in a tied game. Pitch to Dino. Outside. That's a huge secondary off of second base for McNeil. ready to score on any ball to the outfield that gets down. Full count to Catani. The left fielder is 0 for 2 today with a pop-out, a strikeout, and a walk. He did come in to score. And time called just as the pitcher was starting to lift his leg. Flat will have to start over. 3-2 remains the count. Elijah Flatt comes set for a big payoff pitch. The 3-2. And he strikes out Dino Catani for the second time. Blank P27 in the bottom half of this inning. They will win the second game of the doubleheader. Bernie swings and is now even at 1-1. Pitcher comes set, left-handed arm, staring down the plate. And the ball is popped up foul by Christian Bernie, 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. Bernie chases the changeup in the dirt and goes down with the K. So here's Brody Winan. 2 outs in the 6th, an 8-7 ball game. Bullpen action has ceased for the Kingsmen. Tate Johnston has a jacket over his right arm. We'll see if he comes in to pitch in the save situation or if it will remain Brody, who's at the plate now. Ball off the plate outside. And that's high. Ball 2. Ashton Bowes is getting a good lead off of first base. Quick pick over to first, and it's into right field. Bowes scrambles to his feet and hustles to second. He's in scoring position after the error from the pitcher. So after Ashton Bowes got his hard 90 in, now they bring in a pinch runner. I believe that's Eli Thomas down there at second base. Tough to tell through the screen. Looks like the Kingsman number 34 to me. Brody Winan steps in as number 35. In the dirt, Thomas hustling for third. The catcher pumps but does not throw. Thomas is on third here with 2 away, a 3-0 count. Jack Catron is on deck should the inning continue. He's anticipating coming to the plate as he's just taken the shin pads off. The catcher swings a couple more times. The pitch comes home to Brody, and it's 3-1 to Winan. 3-1. Ground ball second base side, and it eats up Soto into center field. Thomas scores, and Brody Winan has himself another time he's reached base. We'll see if it scored a hit or an error. It was hit hard, but right at the second baseman Soto. You know he'll want another shot at it. 9-7 here in the 6th. First pitch misses to Catron. Jack Catron had a big 2-run single in the second inning to bring the score to 7-4. It's set at 7-4 for a long, long time For P27 grabbed 3 runs in the 5th. Kingsmen have just tacked on 2 more, looking for more here in the 6th. In there for a strike to Jack Catron. Kingsmen will have the weekend off, be back at it on Tuesday, Goldsboro, North Carolina. Going in the dirt, 3 balls and a strike. Varsity game with Eastern Carolina Academy. Just a single game as the team will be on the way to Richmond, Virginia for the DSC Prospect Series. It's a big one coming up. Swing and a foul ball to make it 3-2. The Kingsmen will play DSC 6 consecutive times in the conference schedule at the prospect level. 3 on the road next week, then the week off from ABA play when the team is in Houston taking on the Bennett School. And then the week after that, DSC will be at, I believe, it is Gardner-Webb that those home games will be played at, but they are in Gastonia, a considerably shorter drive for the team than Richmond, Virginia would be. Full count pitch does not get the call. The inning continues.
Oh, that was perfect.
Another one. Just do it behind Jack.
De La Cruz is up with 2 on and 2 out. And he takes ball 1 downstairs. The Kingsmen have completed 3.5 times around the order. Time has been called. And a courtesy runner. Looks like Nemo Barnes out there to run for the catcher, Catron. Ground ball third base side, but foul. Interestingly, Nemo Barnes coming into pinch run, or at least courtesy runner. The courtesy runner is traditionally for either the pitcher or the catcher. And it's interesting that the courtesy runner for the catcher here is the game's starting pitcher, Nemo Barnes. 1-1. Inside corner to make it 1-2.
Right seat.
2 strikes here with 2 outs.
Yeah.
1-2.
Look better. Come on, bro. I was expecting that.
We're good. Let's go flag.
Three balls and 2 strikes. Runners will be on the move. And De La Cruz takes ball 4.
We like to show off. We like to ground ball, lean right or two.
First pitch, Olvera is swinging. He skies it into center. Coming in on it is the left fielder, Perez, and he makes the catch. So the inning is over. The Kingsmen grab 2. They'll try to hold down the fort in the bottom half of the 6th to finish off this ball game when we come back on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Final half inning of today's doubleheader. It's 9-7. Brody Winan on the mound, trying to finish off this game. And he misses just inside with that first pitch. Kingsman got a couple of important runs in the top of the 6th to put them in a position to win the game. Speaking of a position to win, Brody Winan in line for the win right now. He delivers a 1-0 fastball at the knees to get it to 1-1 against Yamil Soto. Soto, Pollock, and Martinez. 3, 4, 5. If there's any part of the order you want up right now, if you're P27, it's this part. 1 and 2. Two-strike pitch. Winan delivers to Soto, and it's hit into center field. Coming in on it, McNeil to a dive! Calling the catch! Peyton McNeil robs a base hit in style. 1 out here in the 6th. How about Peyton McNeil? Full extension. And an F8 to remember. 1 out here in the 6th as Chase Pollock up to bat next. Outside corner, call a strike. The swing was close, but the pitch was in there anyway. Oh, 1. in there. Winan locked in against Chase Pollock, who's 0 for 1 with the foul out and the walk. Final inning with the time limit. We're well over 2 hours and 15 minutes since the start of this one, as that ball is lasered down the line, out of the reach of the right fielder. Catani whips it in to second base. 1 out double to get things started for P27. They needed that with 1 away. Catani was the one to track that down and right. De La Cruz now in left. Brody Winan, pitcher on the mound. Tate Johnston, if you can believe it, is throwing again for the Kingsmen in the bullpen. See if he's needed here in this ball game. Michael Martinez is the next to hit, the designated hitter for the Blacksmiths. Swing and a miss early. And in front of Catron as that ball got into the dirt. 0-1.
Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Gotta go, Bob. Gotta go.
0-1. And that sinks into the zone. Winan has found his control. The question is, can he find a way to get Martinez here and get the final out up to the plate? 2-run ball game, tying run at the plate right now for the home P27 Blacksmiths. Two-strike pitch. Fly ball left field. Going back on it is De La Cruz at the track, and he makes the catch in deep left field. Everybody in the ballpark holding their breath for a second as that fly ball had some good ride to it. But P27 is down to their final out. Brody Winan came in last inning, ran into some trouble, but got out of it. And now he's 2 strikes away from picking up the win against P27. 0-1 is the count. Johnston is still getting ready in case he's needed. 0-1. In the dirt, it got away. All the way to the fence and 90 feet on the wild pitch. The count is 1-1. If the game continues, we'll see Isaac Sanchez, the extra hitter, in the 7-hole. Out of the windup, the pitch. Just low. The coaches love the call down love the pitch rather. They didn't love the call down the first base line. 2-1. Trying to seal the deal here in Lexington. 2-1 pitch. Got the call at the knees, and P27 is down to its final strike. Brody Winan on the mound, towing the rubber. Shakes off twice. Has his sign, the 2-2. Popped him up. Chasing it is Catron. Coming in on it is the first baseman, but Catron unable to make the catch to end the ball game. A nightmare of a pop-up. 3 players converged. Catron was the one that took charge, but could not make the catch a couple feet wide of the foul line. So new life for Andy Perez. What will he do with it? 2 strikes to the hitter. And Winan locked back in. has his sign and comes forward. Popped him up again. This one would be catchable by us here in the booth if we had gloves and didn't have a roof. Still 2 strikes. Winan can finish it off once again. High for ball 3. Once again, if the game continues, Isaac Sanchez will be the next hitter to face Winan. Both Perez and Sanchez are 1 for 2 with a double and a strikeout. Here's the full count pitch. Fly ball left field. Into shallow left field goes the shortstop Logan Daniel, and he makes the catch, and the Kingsmen win the ball game. Back and forth it went. Final score 9-7. As the Kingsmen find a way to get it done here in Lexington. Winning pitcher Brody Winan, losing pitcher Elijah Flapp. The Kingsmen win both games of today's doubleheader. A couple of close ones here in Lexington, South Carolina. They'll head home and have the weekend off before a busy week starts in the ABA. Thank you for joining us here from Lexington, South Carolina. Final score once again, 7-6 in Game 1, 9-7 in Game 2. I'm Griffin Leonard saying so long from Lexington. Thanks for joining us here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network.